Welcome to the Mandcave, the only podcast hosted by two best friends with nothing in common except their names. I'm Mandy Kaplan.
And I'm Mandy Fabian. Every week, we test the limits of our friendship by arguing over movies and books, the latest trends, and of course, all of Mandy's dumb ideas. And they're always so dumb. Grab a couch. Let's get to it. I can improvise too, you know.
You know what was not a dumb idea?
What?
Seeing Something Rotten at 5-Star Theatricals last weekend.
You are so right. We did this randomly, separately, but we agree on musical theater and how much we both love that. That's not ever a bone of contention, although we may disagree about which kinds of musical theater we like, right?
You said bone.
Oh, shit. So it's going to be that way. Yeah, I get it. Something Rotten is a very sexy musical.
Oh, was it too sexy for your girls?
Not at all. My kids, are you kidding? My kids know all about it.
Isn't it?
They love it.
Oh, God.
In fact,
love that show.
All weekend, they've been listening to the music, and there's a song that it's a really funny device for those of you that haven't seen it. It's about the time of Shakespeare, right? The Renaissance, and Shakespeare is portrayed as this like rock star figure that everybody adores. He's like a rock star. Everyone swoons over him. And he sings this song about how hard it is to be the bard. And there's a line where it goes, "It's sexy, but it's hard." And all weekend, my kids have been running around going, "It's sexy, but it's hard."
Yeah.
It's very funny. It makes me laugh every time. They know I'm a sucker for it.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And Justin Michael Wilcox is a phenom. He is so good as the lead Nick Bottom.
I know. Yeah. I saw him as in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I saw him do the Steve Martin role in the musical. And this is a person we know personally. He does Miscast coming up March 13th in North Hollywood. He's a very talented, energetic, incredible human being. Yeah. But when you see him on stage in a role like this, it's like he's the second coming. He's so good.
I feel like, to me, he's if a younger, maybe like more handsome Steve Carell did musicals.
Oh, that's so interesting.
I think his timing is so perfect.
Yes.
And his voice, and just, I love him. I love watching him on stage. And I thought he was killer.
He's a dancer before he's anything else. So it's like, are you kidding that all of this talent and he can lead those dance numbers? Lead them.
Yeah.
Because it was Brian Darcy James on Broadway who can dance. And then whoever I saw it on the national tour could dance. But they weren't dancers. Yeah. So for Justin Justin Michael Wilcox. Yes.
Shout out
if you
to
are
him.
in Los Angeles, go see Something Rotten. It's great for the whole family. You don't stop laughing and smiling through the whole thing. And I still haven't stopped, and we saw it days ago. It's just really good.
It is wonderful. Totally in agreement. And you gave me the gift of a lifetime.
Did I come and give without taking?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. No, but I mean, what we watched this week.
Yes.
Do you want to just jump into it?
Yeah. The Woman in the Window Across the Street from the Girl in the House.
The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window. But that's very close.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pete,
so
can you swap that out so that it sounds like I was right and she was wrong? Thanks, doll.
No.
Okay.
Doesn't he do that every week? I feel like I never make mistakes, but in the podcast, it sounds like I do. I does.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
So this thing is created by a trio of groundlings, Hugh Davidson, Larry Dorff, and Rachel Ramras. And it is a parody of sorts of all of those trendy thrillers, the girl on the train, Girl Gone, Woman in the Window, Gone Girl. And it is a parody, yet it is also a gripping mystery like all of those things. So they toe the line. They are actually telling a story and you're wondering who the guilty party is and you're along for the ride. Yes. But then they're really playing up tropes and cliches and doing it with such a wink. And it's so much fun. It's on Netflix.
Yep.
Starring everybody's favorite. I defy you to find somebody who does not like Kristen Bell. I defy you.
I'm sure I can find her, someone who doesn't, because I feel like there's always, there's something I think is a no-brainer. And there's always somebody who's like, I don't know, she doesn't do it for me. I'm like, what?
That person's wrong.
I have to say, first of all, when I watched it, I thought, oh, I didn't get it. It was so like a thriller. It reminded me of that Lifetime thing that Kristen Wiig and Will Ferrell did.
Right.
Do you know the one I'm talking about?
I do. Where they were in a drama, but everybody assumed it was a comedy because it was them.
Well, yeah. Also because it wasn't like it was a great drama, and they're both good actors.
Mm-hmm.
So it was this weird thing where it wasn't really a great drama, but it wasn't funny. But you kept going, isn't it supposed to be funny? So at first I thought this was. It took a while before there was anything. Like I wasn't even getting, not until maybe she dropped the casserole dish for like the second or third time did I start to get, okay, oh wait, something is off here. And then when I started to get the little Easter eggs of jokes that are placed throughout, then by probably episode 2, I was like, wait a minute. I know these names. Who's a Hugh Dorf or whatever, right? And I looked, and it's the 3 people who created Nobodies, who is that's easily one of my all-time favorite television shows of all time, and nobody saw it.
Right.
No pun intended.
Right.
And did you watch Nobodies?
No. Oh, it's a lot of noise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm sorry, but Nobodies is great. It's great TV. It's can I go to the premise of Nobodies real quick? It's real quick.
Sure.
So Nobodies is the 3 groundlings who basically didn't get famous. And they're a writing team, and they're writing on this shitty animated kids show like the Fartmans or the Fartlemans or something. And they hate it. And first episode, like, are trying to pitch this movie that they have. And they accidentally say that Melissa McCarthy is attached because they're so desperate. And they did Groundlings with her ages ago. So the whole show is really about them trying to get Melissa McCarthy to help them in their career. And then there's love stories and stuff. But they're genius performers, brilliant writers. I loved that show so much. And then it got canceled, which is such a bummer because they're not famous enough.
Right.
So I'm really happy that they're doing this thing. It's great. Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. Now, I watched it over a week ago, and I have no memory these days. So I wrote down, Pete, play 52 seconds of the first episode to 1 minute and 21 seconds.
My husband used to tell me that I have an overactive imagination, that I drink too much, that I can't let go of the past, that I make plans and cancel them, that I never wear a jacket but then complain that I'm cold, that sometimes I speak with a British accent even though I'm not British. He's right about all of it. That's why he left me.
Now that everyone has heard it, it's like a summary. She's talking in a British accent. It like sets up the whole thing, and it was tonally perfect, and it gives you a sense of how all of these things start and how all of these things feel. But I don't remember what she said because I wrote it down a week ago. So I hope everybody enjoyed it.
I didn't remember Matthew McConaughey's Oscar speech either. So, we're good.
Yes.
But it's interesting because, the first episode, I would like to go back and see that. And I will when I listen to this episode. I'll hear it. Because it was so subtle. I didn't get it. I really didn't get that it was a comedy. I mean, it is so subtle. So, yeah.
I mean, how many of these things have you watched? How many of these movies? Gone Girl and...
all of them.
Okay.
No, sorry. I watched Girl on a Train because we did it for our podcast.
Right.
And I watched Gone Girl, but I did not see The Woman in the Window. I read the book, though. So I read these kinds of books.
Sure.
Which I thought it doesn't matter if you've seen the things even because the books are so... There's always like a drunk woman who thinks she saw a murder and then everyone thinks she's crazy because she's an alcoholic because something terrible happened to her. Because people aren't just alcoholics unless something terrible happened to you. Did you know that? There's always a big, a child dies or something.
Right. Well, spoiler, first episode, she's talking to her daughter, Elizabeth, and just the way they lit the scene, I was like, oh, this is the ghost of her daughter. Clearly this daughter's not alive. And boom, the daughter's dead. I would like to go back and watch it again, because of all the subtleties, you said they were subtle, but I think if you're looking, then you know that you are required by Hollywood law to have a clawfoot tub if you are in one of these movies. So she takes a bath in her clawfoot tub. And the casseroles, dropping of the casseroles in slow motion. And then highlight of the pilot by far, this character whose name is Anna, as they all are. All these ladies are named Anna or Emma. And then there's an Emma in this and an Anna. She has a fear of the rain. That to
my
me
God, that is so brilliant.
So brilliantly funny. So, of course, anytime it starts to rain, she has a meltdown and faints in the rain and drops a casserole. It is so funny. And Kristen Bell is so sincere.
Oh my God, yes.
On the joke. So it's this like really solid performance, but also very funny.
Yes, I agree. I do think that she didn't wink at all. I have to say, like when Rachel Ramos is in episode 2 or 3 or something, and she gives the right tone of slightly funny. Like she at least lets me know there's a little bit of comedy. She leans into it just a little bit, still grounded.
She's in the support group, right?
Yes.
And she just has one scene with K Bell. Yeah.
Yes. And Kristen Bell was so dramatic and so good. But I was there. I definitely, that would be my one criticism is like, I wanted to laugh more than I did. And I think sometimes she was so good at the dramatic part of it that I was like, okay, now I'm just watching a drama and,
Right. The research team looked up fear of rain and it's real. It's called umbriophobia.
What? No.
I looked it up.
That's crazy. Oh my God, that's so funny.
How many episodes did you watch?
I watched all of them.
Yes! I was scared I was going to be like, oh, well, I shouldn't say that because you haven't seen the last few. Okay.
No, it was that kind of show for me. Like I really enjoyed dipping in. Like I said, for the dramatic parts, it got a little bit like, ugh, I liked the funny. But what was fun for me, it was like a game, right? You watch this and I was looking for the comedy. I was looking for the little, and I wanted it to go, but so then it creates this tension. So then when someone says or does something really fucking funny, like the fingerprinting scene, right? Or like when she's looking up the murder, she's looking up the guy to see if his sordid past online. And every time she finds something on the web, she says, bingo. Like, and she says bingo like 5 times in 60 seconds. It is so funny.
Yes. So in the plot, she is a grieving single, or, she has divorced her husband, who is her therapist on the phone. And,
but you don't find that out till the last episode.
Okay. And
spoiler alert,
a handsome guy moves in across the street. He's got a beautiful little daughter. They introduce themselves. There's some chemistry, but he has a girlfriend that she finds out about. Then she sees the girlfriend brutally murdered in the window across the street. And thus the hijinks ensue. Yes. And then she calls the cops. The cops don't believe her. And in episode 3, Pete, please play the cop's speech about the book at 3 minutes to 3 minutes and 42 seconds.
How's this book? I've heard good things about this. The Woman Across the Lake. When high-powered attorney Grace St. James escapes to her dream house by the lake, her dream becomes a nightmare after she witnesses a gruesome murder. I could see how something like this could make your imagination run wild.
Oh my God, I didn't imagine it.
I don't know if you know this, but it's illegal to make a false report, Anna.
It wasn't a false report. Please, you have to believe me.
You want me to write her up?
No. I don't think that's going to be necessary. Do you, Anna?
No.
Why don't you sleep it off and figure out how you're going to apologize to your neighbor in the morning?
I saw it. Didn't I?
I love the cop. I love that she's like, oh, you're reading House Across the Lake, huh? This is a bestseller about women in peril and unreliable narrators. She like sums it all up in case anybody wasn't in on it, like by episode 3. this cop in 41 seconds just lays it out for us in such a wink. And I love the wink in that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny because, like, of course, I thought it was hilarious, but Patrick wasn't so interested in watching it. I wonder, I would like him to watch it because I'm curious if someone who hasn't read these books and seen these thrillers would think it was that funny. I know people have had a hard time with it because they're like, what is this exactly? But I think if you know the genre, of course, it's so hysterical. Like the way she fills her red wine all the way up to the very, very lip of the wine glass.
It's like convex
giant
on the...
she has that giant bowl of wine corks and she just grabs wine bottles, and she has this wine opener thing that, like, she can open a bottle of wine in 2 seconds and pop the cork out in this giant overflowing bowl, which she then has sex on later in the series. I mean, it's just like, it's so not an overt comedy, but so that then when the times when you see the books stacked in her studio of you too could be an artist, how to be an artist, you also can be an artist. Like, it's the dumbest thing in the world, and it makes me so happy.
My favorite device that I died at by the third episode, the same handyman is fixing her mailbox. Throughout 8 episodes, all he's doing is fixing the mailbox. It is so funny. Like, at one point, she's outside looking across the street and he's just testing the little flag to make sure it goes up and down, you know? And then she ends up, like, getting him involved slightly. His name is Buell. And it is one of those perfect things that, as somebody who tries to write comedy, I would think of that, put it on the page, and I feel like everyone would say, that's too much. You can't do that. You have to take that out. And I feel like they did it and got away with it, and I thank them for it.
They totally did. But that's an example of where I think Kristen Bell being so grounded and real. So when she talks about how Buell's been working for them for like 8 years, right? And all you've seen him do is fix the mailbox for the entire several weeks or whatever this is going on. Even in flashbacks, I think he's still fixing the mailbox.
I think you're right.
Oh, that kind of ridiculousness offsetting that super, super grounded reality. Like she's an artist, right? So, you know, you would believe that. And she paints pretty beautiful things for the most part, right? And then that's when she talks about how she discovered she loves painting, and she had to be in bed with her because she was pregnant and she had to be laid up in bed. And then she's painting in bed, and she looks like she is painting masterpiece after masterpiece. But of course, she's laying in bed. So they've set up an easel over her.
Right.
She's painting, and she's completely spattered with paint. But I really feel like they found this way to make it like ridiculous, but not Airplane or Naked Gun ridiculous, right?
Right.
Oh, God. And then they would back off, and then it would just be a serious mystery drama kind of thing again.
Did you know who had done it? I knew from like the third frame of this thing, and I spoiled it for Jer.
You knew who the real killer was?
Of course. You didn't?
No.
Yes.
I don't think we could tell people. Do you think we could tell people who the killer is? But now I want to know how you knew. How could you possibly know?
Because I've read so many of these things. There's a rhythm to them, and there's a like, oh, I see. I got it. Right from the start.
But there's no way anyone would suspect this person. I mean,
I knew.
Okay. All right. Well, when we're offline, I'm going to ask you because I really want to know like what the thing was.
Yeah. And you can ask Jer too, because I don't want you to think I'm exaggerating. I called it really quickly.
That's funny.
And I felt free to do so because, yes, it was a mystery, but it was a comedy. You know, I didn't feel like I was spoiling it.
Yeah, it happens to have a pretty good mystery, but it's more silly than mystery, I would say, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's got a good story, but it's not like you're on the edge of your seat dying to know what happens. There were moments when like the hot neighbor who she thinks killed his girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
When she's breaking into his house, you know, and following him and finds out that he's going to do a ventriloquist act at stand-up and not, in fact, getting rid of a dead body. That was hilarious.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. that when he starts laying out the way that she's behaving, the way that he does it is so funny because in these books, right, these women act crazy and they're always so like, am I crazy? And it's like, yeah, actually you are.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to break into people's houses and follow them and everything when you're drinking and you're taking pills that make you hallucinate, right? So funny. I thought all the casting was so good in this.
Yeah, I loved everybody's performance and everyone was well suited. I wrote down episode 3, this series, sponsored by turtlenecks. She wore a lot of neutral colored turtlenecks. And then, what was the neighbor's last name who moved in across the street?
Oh, I don't remember.
It was Coleman. I'm sorry, are you saying Goldman? Or is it Coldman?
That gives you so much joy. And I forgot it. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. If our regular listeners are laughing because they remember that from The Lost Daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And okay, so now I'm in the back half of the series. Other things I loved. Every time she's leaving somewhere, someone says, wait. And she has to turn around dramatically and find out what they have to say.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't notice that.
It happened a lot and it's delightful. Oh. And then remember my pet peeve about how everybody on TV and movies drinks their coffee black?
Yeah.
The cop
Did they address it?
The cop says, could I have sugar in my coffee? And I was like, somebody asks for something in their coffie.
There you go. See, so this show ticked off all the boxes for you.
It really did.
I really, two of my favorite moments, well, when she's having her, like, I'm back to life, like, I'm going to get my life together. And she reupholsters her chair. She has spilled a big glass of red wine early in the series. And then when she's decided to get clean and sober, she carries the chair up the stairs into her attic.
In cute little overalls.
She reupholsters a giant chair. And she has a stack of books. You too can reupholster your chair. DIY reupholstery. Like, so funny.
I wrote all that down exactly like you said. Yeah.
Oh, God. And I loved. Of course, you know me. I'm a dirty birdie. So, of course, I loved it. But the sex with the guy was so goddamn funny. I mean, if you don't have time, if this isn't your genre, if you don't want to watch the show at all, okay. But you have to find this scene with this guy that multiple, like, they have sex everywhere, all over the house, and they have it in every cliched television way, but they also have it in this ridiculous bonking way. Like, they're just going at it like animals.
It is episode 5.
Oh.
And I made myself a note, but Carol was watching. What does that mean? Who's Carol?
Carol was the neighbor who kept, like...
The nosy neighbor who's like, she's a drunk.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think she was watching at one point. I think they were, like, doing it in the living room.
Window,
Carol, is standing, shaking her head like, ugh, unbelievable. Which is so ridiculous, right? Like, that was such a great riff on that thing of, like, of course she's going to meet the hot guy and have her.
And she says, I haven't been touched in such a long time before that montage. Yeah. Okay. So more highlights. Episode 6, she goes to visit her daughter's tombstone, the graveside, because it's her daughter's birthday. And she brings a casserole to her daughter's grave.
Yes. Yeah. And did you notice what the tombstone said?
Life is for living, and so are casseroles.
Did it say that at one point? I missed that one.
I wrote that down. So what did the tombstone say? Because
the very first one, okay, now I have to look it up. The very first one says, in heaven, you can dance like no one is watching.
Oh my God, yes. Okay, I think I wrote that down. Yeah.
And then there was a second one. I only saw 2 different ones, but I don't remember what the second one was. But it was something like, it was something else to do with heaven. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Heaven is a place on earth or something. It was really silly, but they kept changing what it said.
But the tombstone said, right.
Oh, what is the significance, though, of the casseroles?
Well, it's a very cliched image from these movies. So
Is it?
Yeah. And I remember like it's very to me it's iconically Dead to Me, which I know is slightly different, but that TV show Dead to Me, the nosy neighbor turns up with a casserole and Christina Applegate unleashes on her. She's like, a casserole should fix my husband's death, and and like it's a very iconic thing to bring your neighbor a casserole, and so
okay, I see. I thought it was a commentary on like this genre, and I don't remember casseroles from the books, but I did what I took it as, it was just making fun of like suburban, just kind of raising that like, this is what moms do, is we make casseroles and bring them to our neighbors or to our dead daughter. It was very funny. It worked for me. I just was like,
I think yes, and I think it appears in these books and movies too as a
yeah. Got
a new family moved in across the street. I'll bring them a casserole. What's happening in the house across the street? It's just a very easy device to have our unreliable narrators enter rooms and homes and lives.
Yeah.
So amazing twist. I wrote this. Ex-husband is therapist. So obviously we didn't learn that until episode 7. And he takes a call during an interrogation. I wrote it down because I thought that was really funny. The police are interrogating him and he just like answers his phone.
No. He's still a criminal psychiatrist.
Oh, okay.
So he's interviewing an inmate.
Right.
And it's like, hold on, I got to take this. And then talk, like it would never happen.
Right.
Like the whole
setup. He brought his daughter to take your daughter to work day and she was murdered by a crazy inmate, right?
She was eaten by a crazy inmate. She was murdered. She was eaten. Which, again, that's one of those things that goes so far, but you can go that far for a little bit because the whole thing is not like that, right?
Right.
So much of it is, that's another example of like, it's so, Kristen Bell's so believable and grounded and they're all playing it so real that makes it just even more hilarious. And they also got to do things like when she is being fingerprinted. Okay, that is an example of my all-time favorite kind of comedy. I have tried to do it. I tried to do it once in a pilot that I directed, and I tried to do it with this thing in my movie. And it's like, what it is you take a bit and you just extend it for way too long. And I don't think I've ever successfully done it because people are like, it's just going on too long.
Mm-hmm.
But they did it. I laughed hysterically. Did you think the fingerprinting thing?
I don't remember it. I didn't write it down.
It's the dumbest thing in the world. It's him. Basically, he's going to take her fingerprints because she's been arrested now for the murder, right? And it's just him, explaining how he's going to, okay, we're just going to roll your thumb and there you go. How was your day? And he just starts chatting with her,
It's
like
Michael
he's
Hitchcock.
a dentist. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like he's a dentist who's going to chat with her while he's working on her teeth. But it's this lighthearted fun and he's rolling her little fingers and just there you go. Okay, now the next one. And it goes on forever and it's nothing, but I am dying laughing at how they're drawing it out.
Very funny. Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Was this the one with John Michael Higgins in it?
No, it's Michael Hitchcock. I always get them confused, but Michael Hitchcock is the guy you're talking about.
Okay, I must have recently seen John Michael Higgins in something that was hysterically funny.
Yeah.
Where he's
they're both Christopher Guest guys.
Yes,
John Michael Higgins is in Best in Show as Michael McKean's lover. And Michael Hitchcock is in Waiting for Guffman and he's like, Quirky!
Yes. No. Yes. Yep. I just all of a sudden I guess I didn't think I'd been watching that much lately, but I guess I have. Licorice Pizza. He was in Licorice Pizza.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Different. Classy. All right. I haven't seen that yet.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. His scene is crazy and funny, but the whole movie I didn't totally love so much. But his scene is like, oh my God. So you have to watch it at least for his scene because he's so fucking good.
All right.
Anyway.
Are you ready to give it man jobs or is there anything else you want to say about it?
This is where I falter because if it's just me and what I like and think is funny, like I would give it 4.5. Like I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would only maybe not give it the other half because I feel like it's limited in its audience, right? Like, but I loved it. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Even though I hate agreeing with you, I would give it four man jobs. I almost said 4 stars.
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing.
Who cares about stupid stars? Yeah.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed it. And I don't think it's such a limited audience because these books are bestsellers. I mean, these books are huge and these movies do well. So it's not like a real niche that,
Yeah. Does Jeremy read these books?
I've passed on a couple to him. Like, if one of them really blows my mind, I'll tell him he should read it. Like, there's a new HBO Max series coming out called The Girl Before. And that was one I really, really liked and he read too. And that's maybe something we're gonna talk about.
Great. Did he like this one?
He did, very much. I mean, you add humor and it's like 2 of your favorite things in one. It's like chocolate and peanut butter. Yeah. This is like the chocolate and peanut butter of limited series.
Yeah, I agree. It's so subtle and in the pocket and just fucking great. Yep. Agreed. All good.
You know what else is like chocolate and peanut butter?
Yeah.
Pete Wright and Ian Post.
Yes, they're wonderful.
Who respectively do the engineering and music for our show.
Yes. And if you're enjoying the Mandcave, why don't you get on in there and go over and maybe leave us some stars, write a review, ask us a question in Discord, mancave.com/Discord. You can go into a community channel, communicate with us. You can find us on Instagram. I'm at MandyFab and Mandy's at Mandy_Kaplan_Clavens. And you know what? It's a journey to type out.
If you could see the doubt on her face as she's saying.
No, I said it right. And let me tell you something. It's worth the journey. There's a lot of typing, but the destination is worth it, is what I'm going to say. So yeah, come join us, please. And spread the word. Tell your friends about these sweet ass girls who are doing this podcast for you.
Absolutely. And you can support us also by becoming a Fandy. If you go to mancave.com/Fandy, it's just $5 a month. You get all sorts of cool shit and you become our favorite.
Yeah.
We will like you better than anybody else if you are a Fandy. A paid Fandy.
Yeah. No, it's about the cash, definitely. Cash supporters definitely get priority. I'm in the middle of cutting out a few friends and family right now, so it's a day of awkward phone calls for me. Also, you can redeem yourself by wearing one of our fantastic Mandy's t-shirts. We have swag. I mean, I've never had swag. It's a dream come true for a little girl from Texas. And so you just go to mancave.com/merch, get yourself a travel mug, and travel to podcast places you could only dream of. That's what I'll say.
We've been doing these games a lot, but this is what occurred to me. The title of this show, The Woman in the Window Across the Street from the Girl in the House. The title in itself. I did it wrong again? The girl in the window?
You did, but that's okay.
The woman in the window. The girl in the window.
It's the woman in the house. No, it's the woman in the... No. It's the woman in the house across the street from the girl in the window. It makes so much sense. I don't know how you could ever...
Wow. Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
So it made me think about titles. And titles like this that are so on the nose or unbelievable. Where do most of those titles appear? You mentioned it right at the top of the episode. Lifetime Television.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay.
So the name of this game is Lifetime or Lie Time.
Oh, wow. All you did was take out the F.
Do you see how lazy I am?
My God.
Lazy and clever. So I'm going to
just
name a movie.
Out the F. Mm-hmm.
Give you the title. You say, that's real or that's Mandy.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. Born ready.
Baby Monitor, Sound of Fear.
Shut the fuck up. Of course that's Lifetime. No, it's you. It's you.
That is Lifetime.
No.
Yes, it's real.
Oh my God. Now, full disclosure for those who are thinking, wow, that one Mandy is a dumbass. And I'm not going to specify which Mandy. But I do not watch Lifetime.
I'm too classy for Lifetime.
Way too classy. Yeah. I don't
I'm
see how much...
composting and I don't have time during my composting to watch Lifetime.
True. Oh God, I'm such an ally for women, That's what I am.
Bite
and
me,
for the
you
earth.
got that wrong. Okay? You got it wrong.
The
next
be smart
one.
and pretty. Okay, yes.
The girl with too many frenemies.
Okay, that's you.
That's me.
Okay, good.
That's me. The 12 Men of Christmas.
That feels like a Lifetime one.
That is Lifetime.
Yeah. And it also feels like my senior year of high school. But anyway, go on.
Prom Gone Wrong. The Marley Denton story.
That feels like Lifetime.
That is me.
Oh, interesting. Who's Marley Denton?
I just made it up.
Wow. Well done.
But I thought the colon and the something story would sell it. And it did.
It totally did. You should write Lifetime movies. We'll play a game.
I think I just
Lifetime.
did.
Oh, yeah.
The whole
that's
thing.
true.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that. I'm going to have the script to you in 3 weeks.
Okay. Let's call our costume designer, Jessica McClintock, and see if she can do all the dresses for the prom. Do you remember her?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, the sad thing is I used to covet Jessica McClintock dresses. Like I would see them in the windows at the mall.
Yes. They were like the shabby chic of our generation, right? It was
Yeah.
we wanted to all look like prairie girls.
No, that's like, Laura Ashley you're thinking of. Jessica McClintock was like poofy sleeves and sequins and sparkles, very like 80s pageanty. And they were like, I was not raised in a ton of wealth and they were out of our price range.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was at the old TJ Maxx and Sears looking for my prom dresses, folks.
I used to go to the Jessica McClintock store at the mall, though. Like if my mom was shopping, I'd be like, can I just go over and look?
Yeah.
So I was with you. with you.
Okay, let's reach out to Jessica McClintock corporate and see if we can't make some dreams come true. Right?
I think that's definitely our next photo shoot.
Yes.
Maybe we need a T-shirt of us. And yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm making a note.
Great.
Okay. The next one. Valentine Smith, the love detective.
Come on. Son of a bitch. You. That's you.
That is me.
Okay.
That is me. Inspector Mom.
Oh, that feels like Lifetime.
That's Lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels right.
Married to a murderer.
Oh, that's definitely Lifetime.
That's me.
You would have been more creative than that. Come on.
No, that's me. I'm trying to trick you. That was me.
No, I know, but I got to tell you, I'm going to call, what do you call, like a mulligan or like I'm going to call a
you want me
foul
to do
on the
it
play?
over?
No. I'm just going to tell you that by next week, I'm going to find the Lifetime movie that's called Married to a Murderer.
Okay.
Because I know it exists.
All right. Well.
I'm just kidding. I want to hear about your prom dress a little bit more too. I want to know like shape, color. I want to know what you went with.
So my prom dress, we actually spent money on. Here's the deal.
Okay.
To my junior prom, I wore a hideous, or I loved it at the time, giant poofy sleeves, red lace. It was a bridesmaid gown from my cousin Melissa's wedding. Oh. And I promised my mom if we bought that dress, I would wear it to my junior prom.
Sure. I didn't even know junior proms existed. So cool. Are only juniors allowed at the junior prom?
Well, you could invite whoever you wanted as your date.
Okay.
It was, yeah. So, so I wore that to my junior prom.
Okay. And then you dyed it and wore it again for your senior prom.
No. So because we spent $0 on my junior prom dress, my mom said we could spend money on my senior prom dress, which I had made because, remember, I was Dolly Parton. I had huge boobs. And not one dress at the mall would fit me. Nothing. So we went to like a tailor and they made it. And I loved it. And my hair was red and long and curly. And I thought I looked like Nicole Kidman in Dead Calm.
Yeah,
and
you did.
Matt Boren, if you're listening, shout out my amazing prom date, Matt Boren.
You got to go to the prom with Matt Boren?
Who continues to make my life a better place.
Oh, I love him. That's great.
Yep. And found out at the end of the prom, I did the whole thing with a curler in the back of my hair. Tucked under my banana clip. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh no. So Matt didn't find that when you were going down on him?
No.
What?
No.
Oh. Sorry, Matt. I know you just finger banged. It's cool.
Yeah. No, he's fine. You can say whatever you want.
Oh my God. That is dreamy. I love that story.
Yeah. What did you wear to your prom?
I wore a strapless, which I have not done since. But I managed to pull up you remember Demi? It was right kind of in the tone of Demi Moore's Oscar dress at the time. It was little strapless pink. I wore pink, kind of a tight little number with a short little skirt. And then though it had the long train that sort of wasn't it was short in the front, but long in the back,
Okay.
So it was super weird. And I think I had long elbow length pink gloves. I only had the one prom, was my senior prom.
This is not a look I can picture you in at all. And I need
my God.
I need
you
to
can't
see a
even
picture.
imagine the giant hair. Oh, I will show you the hair. I mean, I'll show you the picture. Giant, hot rolled out to here long hair with the bangs. And my date, because I was working and I didn't know anybody at my high school, my date was the magician from the show that I was in. And I was his assistant, Ray Anderson, the most handsome guy, great dancer. We would have had the night of our lives if his boyfriend hadn't showed up. But that was also the night that I found out my high school counselor was gay. So, it all worked out. And we had a great time anyway.
That should be the Marley Denton story.
It really, you know what? You're not lying.
Prom gone wrong.
If Marley hadn't been so easygoing, there could have been some drama. Yeah.
Well, I do have a few more titles, but I'm so enjoying this prom discussion. I don't even think they matter.
Why don't you give me one more?
I'll give you the last 4, and you tell me which one I came up with.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep.
She's Too Young. Deadly Sugar Daddy. Mother, May I Sleep with Danger. My Stepson, My Lover.
I want to say you did Mother, May I Sleep with Danger.
No, that is my favorite Lifetime title of all time. It's what inspired this game. That is a Tori Spelling movie, Mother, May I Sleep with Danger.
Oh, God.
What's your second guess?
Oh, God. She's Too Young.
She's Too Young. Deadly Sugar Daddy. My Stepson, My Lover.
Jesus, those are all really good. My Stepson, My Lover?
No.
Deadly Sugar Daddy? I don't know.
That is mine, yeah.
Deadly Sugar Daddy. That one sounds very real.
You're welcome.
I had a couple, and if I hadn't killed him first, it would have gone bad for me.
Coming up next week on the Mandcave.
Hang on. Is that a mystery for our listeners?
I will say it is my plan to try and post those prom pictures somewhere. So
great. Yeah.
If you're not a Fandy, you might want to become one to see those prom pictures.
I'm going to locate them. We're going to get on that.
I know where mine is. I sleep with it under my pillow. What? Just kidding.
Oh, Matt.
Oh, Matt.
You still got it. You still got it, kid. All right. Well, great. So what's up? Wait, you have to... Oh, wait, I'm assigning you. Yes. Oh, no, sorry. I had a little stroke. I was having a stroke. Okay, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Bop-ba-da-boop, bop-beep-bop-bop. I very rarely have something I'm so excited to watch. And I'm cheating. I'm not being mean at all because I think you are also going to love it. So
I think you're stalling and you don't have anything.
No, I really do have something. Okay. And I actually remembered what I had because 9 times out of 10, I'm like, oh shit, what was I going to say? Yeah. I'm the best co-host ever.
Yeah.
No, I want to watch Murderville on Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Right? Yeah, yes. We're going to love it. I'm sorry, Fandies, the whole thing about us disagreeing on everything. There's some things you just can't disagree on. And these shows will be one of them. So we're either going to dry hump it together or we're going to tear it apart because it's awful. But either way, it'll be us doing it together. Yes. Friendship. #friendship.
#blessed.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
You said it first because you knew it mattered.
Look, it's almost Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? This is our Valentine's Day show.
Precious and few.
Yep. You don't have to do that. No, you don't have to. You don't. Nope. That's okay. Pete, cut the tape. Cut the tape. We're good. Love you.
Love you.